Yo. Okay, I see you. I see you. Still waiting on D to get in. You in? Hold on. Oh. Okay, my bad. My bad. Try this again. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why, but it won't let me turn it around. When it does, it says um something about the recording when I turn it around. It doesn't
Yo,
work like that. Yeah, I'm here. I'm trying to do that, and it says you can't turn your phone while recording. So I guess I don't know. I'm gonna do it because you did it, but it's gonna look lopsided to everybody.
you can see me?
I can see you. You can see me.
Yeah, we good.
We might have to turn it back regular, bro. It's gonna look lopsided to everybody's jack
All right, you might have
because
to
it's
back out and start back over.
no. It's cool. Just turn it. Just turn it. Just turn
I
it.
gotta take my charger out.
Just turn it. Just no. Just turn it. Just turn the jump. Just turn your jump.
Put my stand on the over here right now. Let's see.
Okay, yeah. How much of me do you see on your screen, bro? I see you all the way to the emblem.
I see you.
You see me?
Yeah, I see you. I gotta hold on 1 second.
All right. So yeah, where I'm sitting at, it's like, hold on a second. This is gonna work real quick. All right. Boom. Okay, maybe that does work. What I just did.
Let's try it again.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Mhm.
I gotta make one change. Gotta make one change, alright? I might have to back out.
All right.
Um, hold on.
Okay. Cool. Oh, there we go. Okay, you do. That's what I was trying to figure out. But all right, cool. Waiting for him to get back in so we can start this, and I could start taping. Let everybody get in. Let everybody get in. Whether they with us now or with us after. Let them get in. We'll figure this out. Letting everybody in. Got shout out to Maximilian holding it down for us. Um, Mediating things, seeing things through while we go live. Just waiting on D to reappear so I can. Okay. Okay. Got you, Roger. Yep.
Yo,
All right. Ready to start this thing off?
yeah, I'm back.
All right. All good?
Yeah, we're good. We back.
All right. So without
Yeah.
further ado, let's start the show. Welcome to GW Anxiety Talks. I'm your host, Nate. Got my co-host D Hayes in the building.
Peace, peace.
Today's episode 5. Topic is depression, ladies and gentlemen. But without further ado, we want to pause this moment to pay homage and tribute to 9/11 and the good folks we lost on that day. So I'm gonna ask that everyone, including ourselves, bow our head for about 60 to 70 seconds and pay homage. We good?
Good.
Okay. Just want to pay homage and salute all the fallen. Those of you who lost, we send our condolences and love. And I know you wanted to, we discussed something off air about discussing the situation. So walk us through this.
I mean, I just was going to talk about 9/11, what happened and where I was at. You know, I was still in high school at this time, so it was just kind of weird. I was with a friend, you know, I was still, you know, around that time, I was, you know, still cutting school and, you know, ducking the parents and all of that. But we got to the school and for some reason we just wanted, like, we found today, the day was the day to cut. And for some reason, on our way home, you know, we start hearing people on the train and they're talking about people jumping out of windows and, you know, it's a building coming down. And, you know, we looking at each other like what are they talking about? Sound crazy. So, you know, on the way home, you know, of course I wasn't going to go home because, you know, I was cutting school. So we get to his house. Of course, something happens. His parents is home. Right. So that omission is boarded. So now I can't go to his house. I can't go home. So I just say, you know what, I'm going to just chalk it up and just go home and, you know, make some type of story up. But long story short, I get home and my mom was actually expecting me to come home early. So when I walked in the door, she was like, oh, you home? It's crazy. Did you hear what was going on? And she started, you know, further in and explaining what was going on with the planes hitting the building. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. You know, like for once, I picked today to cut school and I'm actually not in trouble. But
Right.
it was a weird day, yo, but, you know, it was weird, but a lot of lives was lost, so.
Man, shout out to everybody, their families, man. I can't really give you too much of a story about that day. I was in an unfortunate situation dealing with homelessness at the time when this occurred. But yeah, man, it just, I know it cut deep, man. To see the emotions and levels of expressions that everybody had around me was like, you know what I mean? Like we lost something good, you know what I mean? And that's when you knew, man, the towers was like everything. People go down 42nd, if I'm saying that correct, and they could see, you know, when they downtown or whatever, they could see what's going down. So when that transpired, it kind of messed us up too, man. So, or I salute all the legends. I call them legends, man. They made it, you know, possible to be. That's like impacting our history now. But yeah, man. Today we're gonna be discussing depression. Last week we did anxiety part 2, was it? I believe. So we're gonna be discussing depression. So let's get into this. So depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest, also called major depressive disorder or clinical depression. It affects how you feel, think, and behave. It can lead to a variety of emotion and physical problems. You may have trouble doing normal day-to-day activities. Sometimes you may feel as if life isn't worth living. More than just about of the blues or depression isn't a weakness and you can't simply snap out of it. Depression may require long-term treatment, but if you don't get diagnosed, most people with depression feel better with medication, psychotherapy, or both. So give us a little bit of the symptoms, if you can.
Symptoms of depression.
Mm-hmm.
Although depression may occur only once during your life, people typically have multiple episodes. During these episodes, symptoms occur most of the day, nearly every day, and may include feelings of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, or hopefulness, angry outbursts, irritability or frustration, even over small matters, loss of interest or pleasure in most or normal activities such as sex, hobbies, or sports.
Let me stop you there for a quick second.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said some key things. Feeling of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness. How many of you out there suffer depression? How many of you out there have these side effects? Feeling the emptiness, the hopelessness, the angry outbursts. Some may not be directed towards anybody in particular. It could just be these moments that you're suffering this. But how many of you suffer that and go through that? Leave it in the comments below. We would love to hear more about it and understanding. But D, please continue.
Sleep disturbances, including insomnia or sleeping too much, tiredness and lack of energy. So even small tasks need a little more effort.
Wow. So, and then we got reduced appetite, weight loss, or increased craving for food and weight gain, anxiety, agitation, or restlessness, slowed thinking, speaking, or body movements, feeling of worthlessness or guilt, fixating on past failures or self-blame, trouble thinking, concentrating, making decisions, and remembering things, frequent or recurrent thoughts of death, suicidal thoughts, suicide attempts, or just suicide, and unexplained physical problems such as back pain or headaches. So keep in mind, people, there's so many aspects when dealing with depression. I've myself dealt with a few of these. I myself had a few of these. So how many of you had frequent recurrent thoughts of death, suicidal thoughts, suicide attempts, or suicide period? You know, it's hard when you suffer in depression. When you agree, it's not easy.
It's not.
You know, people hear depression and where we come from, it's just like whatever, it's just something regular. But here we broke down a bunch of factors that depression plays. So it's like
it's funny because it sticks out so bad, but it don't shine like gold. So
right. You know what I mean? So shedding light on it now, it's like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? So much factors. So keep in mind, people, we're learning with you. It's never a cure what we're delivering. What we're delivering is another way for you to deal with it. As Harlem King says, because they never dealt with it. That's true. Someone may never have dealt with it, but also learning to deal with someone who does deal with it. That's another understanding in itself too, you know? So it's good for someone who doesn't suffer depression to know these things so that way they can help whoever is overcome what we're dealing with. But yeah, man, slow thinking, speaking or body movements. I had many days, man. I had slow thinking. I was stuck pausing, thinking something, or food cravings, or in need of eating. You know what I mean? It can mess with your appetite. How many of you had messed up appetite due to depression? You know what I mean? Was there ever a time that you suffered depression and you know your appetite was ruined and you didn't have a taste for anything and you dealt with emptiness and frustration and you was just so irritated, you know what I mean, at every point of the day? He goes, depression coming so much weight. Elaborate with us a little bit more about that in the comments, brother. We want to know what you meant by that. Depression coming so much weight. But yeah, for many people with depression, symptoms usually are severe, enough to cause noticeable problems in day-to-day activities such as work, school, social activities, or relationships with others. Some people may feel generally miserable or unhappy without really knowing why. So I'm going to say that again. Some people may feel generally miserable or unhappy without really knowing why. How many of you have dealt with that?
I'm pretty sure a lot. You don't even know it.
Our mediator Max says nothing wrong with getting help. Reach out. Definitely. That's what these shows are always about, getting help. You know, So we got anxiety, we got depression, you got PTSD, you got ADHD, you got all sorts of things revolving around mental health. So now we're going to touch on a little bit about depression symptoms in older adults.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I believe this is you. Depression symptoms in older adults.
Got you. Depression is not a normal part of growing older, and it should never be taken lightly. Unfortunately, depression often goes undiagnosed and untreated in older adults, and they may feel reluctant to seek help. Don't feel bad, you know. Don't is a lot of weight you're getting off.
Mm-hmm.
Symptoms of depression may be different or less obvious in older adults, such as memory difficulties or personality changes.
Pause right there. Pause right there. Pause right there. You said memory difficulties or personality changes. That is deep, people. Please be aware, if you suffer depression, get in tune with us. He's breaking it down for you. Memory difficulties or personality changes. You just threw me off with that because I recall having a depressive moment downstairs, knowing what I was coming down to do. And I was so much filled with depression that when I got downstairs, I forgot exactly what literally, like just like that, not understanding why. And then, personality changes where, people may know you to be this wholesome dude and you always love. And then now they see you and it's like, damn, he's really down. I wonder what's
Right.
going on. Excuse me. But continue.
Right. I see you was breaking
Memories,
up
difficulties. Oh, okay. You said memories, difficulties. Mm-hmm.
All right. Where we at? Physical aches or pains,
Mm-hmm.
fatigue, loss of appetite, sleep problems, or interest in sex not caused by a medical condition or medication. So that's important. You got to look at, is medicine for certain things, but, they got to look for certain other symptoms, before the medicine, or symptoms that the medicine, it's tricky. That's why it says not caused by a medical condition or medication.
He says, coming so much weight, depression comes in so much waste. Is it waste? The reason why I said that, because you can have it. Okay. You can have it, and whatever you do, or whatever, do that until you have a real breakdown. I never knew all personality change. You told me about the lacking of sleeping and eating. I go through that right now. So, hey, this is informative. I'm glad to have you with us, brother. This is what we're here for. So I'm glad you was able to learn some of these other ones, Often wanting to stay at home rather than going out to socialize or doing new things. Suicidal thinking or feelings, especially in older men. Basically, these are the thoughts and how things are transpired as you're an adult, older man, older lady. And we're going to get into some causes. It's not known exactly what causes. A variety of factors may be involved, such as biological differences. People with depression appear to have physical changes in their brains. The significance of these changes is still uncertain, but may have eventually helped pinpoint causes. So we got brain chemistry. Neurotransmitters are naturally occurring brain chemicals that likely play a role in depression. Recent research indicates that changes in the function and effect of these neurotransmitters and how they interact with neural circuits involved in maintaining mood stability may play a significant role in depression and its treatment. Hormones changes in the body. Balances of hormones may be involved in causing or triggering depression. Hormone changes can result with pregnancy and during the weeks or months after delivery, postpartum, and from thyroid problems, menopause, or a number of other conditions, inherited traits. Depression is more common in people whose blood relatives also have this condition. Researchers are trying to find genes that may be involved in causing depression. So now we're learning that it could also come from the genes in the family. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you can suffer it through something. I believe too also, man, like people when don't take everything in, like don't take the whole weight of the world on your shoulders. Deal with what you can also deal with. Stop trying to, and this is for me as well as you, stop trying to heal and help everything and everyone,
Take
because
on
it
other
only
work.
right, it only affects you. It only
Right.
affects you. It only affects you. It'll bother you. It'll wear you down. It'll eat you. So stop jumping out the window for people that aren't doing the same for you. Stop carrying a load on you that doesn't belong on you. You know what I mean? Some of that play a factor in depression as well.
It does.
Um, but walk us through, what are some of the risk factors when dealing with depression?
Risk factors.
Mm-hmm.
They say depression often begins in teens, your 20s, or your 30s, but it can happen at any age. More women than men are diagnosed with depression, but this may be in part, this may be due in part because women are more likely to seek treatment. Factors that seem to increase the risk of developing or triggering depression indeed. Certain personality traits such as low self-esteem and being too dependent, self-critical, or pessimistic. Traumatic or stressful events such as a physical or sexual abuse, the death or loss of a loved one, a difficult relationship, or financial problems.
Blood
Blood.
relatives. Yep.
Okay, go ahead. You can go.
With the history of depression, bipolar disorder, alcoholism, or suicide.
Hmm.
Being lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or having a variation in the development of genital organs that aren't clearly male or female, intersex, in an unsupportive situation. History of other mental health disorders such as anxiety disorders, eating disorders, or post-traumatic stress disorders. Abuse of alcohol or recreational drugs. Series of chronic illness, including cancer, stroke, chronic pain, or heart disease. Certain medications, such as some high blood pressure medications or sleeping pills. Talk to your doctor before stopping any of those medications. Here, we're going to get into the complications, ladies and gentlemen.
Complications.
Um,
I got you.
okay.
Depression is a serious disorder that can take a terrible toll on you or your family. Depression often gets worse if it isn't treated, resulting in emotional, behavioral, and health problems that affect every area of your life. Examples of complications associated with depression include anxiety, panic disorder, or social phobia, family
Mm.
conflicts, relationship difficulties, and work or school problems, social isolation, suicidal feelings, suicidal attempts, or suicide, self-mutilation such as cutting, premature death from medical conditions. Those
Also,
are complications.
if we didn't say excess weight or obesity, which can lead to heart disease and diabetes, pain or physical illness, alcohol or drug misuse. Those are all complications when dealing with depression. So, some of us indulge in alcohol and, we get carried away a little bit, but we could all know what that next day feels like, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? But yeah, the pain, the physical illness, like you said, social isolation. How many of you have had complications dealing with depression and you have social isolation? You didn't want to be bothered. You didn't want to be around. Leave that in the comments below. Tell us your perspective on dealing with complications of depression. Premature death from medical conditions. I've lost what could have been my little brother John due to the premature death. It's not an easy thing. We're losing people. So all these things, all these complications when dealing with mental health, self mutilation, such as cutting. Again, there's people who sit there and find they're in pain and they get the joy of just cutting, thinking that it's their form of releasing and getting out of that mold, that moment. It's like, please speak to somebody, get to somebody closest to you that you can trust to discuss these complications when dealing with depression. You're not alone. This community's here with you. This is what this community is about. Non-judgmental platform, always will be. And I can't stress that enough. This is a non-judgmental platform. So feel free to be able to discuss certain complications if need be. But we're gonna get into prevention. Should I tackle prevention real quick?
What do you think, brother?
There's no sure way to prevent depression. However, these strategies may help. Take steps to control stress, to increase your resilience and boost your self-esteem. Reach out to family and friends, especially in times of crisis, to help you weather rough spells. Get treatment at the earliest sign of a problem to help prevent depression from worsening. Consider getting long-term maintenance treatment to help prevent a relapse or symptoms. Prevent a relapse of symptoms. So it's well said there, man. We got to do better at, us as people, man, we got to do better at, if we don't suffer this, at being able to identify it, even if you don't suffer it. We're going to get to that, Max. Yes, we do. But we have to do better at reaching out when dealing with this. We have to be able to identify the early signs. It starts with us, so we have to be able to do that. So this isn't really going to be a long one today. You know what I mean? We wanted to run, huh?
Oh, we're going to get to the numbers and websites too, Max.
But before we do that, I wanted to stop in and say, how do you deal, just to give you tips, guys. Usually our show goes on for longer than a period of time. This is a short one. But I want you to understand these two things if you can't take nothing else away from this. If you're not the one dealing with depression, here's 8 tips on how to deal with a depressed person. How to help. Start a conversation. Let your friend know that you're there for them. Help them find support. Support them in continuing therapy. Take care of yourself. Learn about depression on your own. Offer to help with everyday tasks. Extend loose invitations. And number 8, be patient. Please be patient when dealing with these individuals. How do you talk to a depressed person? Go ahead.
No, I said that's a key. That's very key. Be patient.
How do you talk to a depressed person? Number 1, be patient and understanding. Number 2, offer encouragement and acknowledge gains, no matter how small. 3, ask if there's anything that you can do to help instead of asking what's wrong. Number 4, acknowledge that the mental health condition isn't their fault. And number 5, speak clearly and at a pace that only they would understand. So there you
Right.
have it, people. How to deal with a depressed person and how do you talk with a depressed person. So now, I want to walk us into the quote of the day, D.
I got a quote of the day.
Yes, sir.
I'll explain it a little more for y'all. My quote of the day on depression, it says, there are wounds that never show on the body that are deeper and more hurtful than anything that bleeds.
You got to say it again for the people in the back. Say that quote. I like that quote. Say that quote.
There are wounds that never show on the body that are deeper and more hurtful than anything that bleeds.
We got to let that marinate, people.
That's deep.
It
That's
is.
deep right there, man. Because we all got different things we fighting, man, and it's like you can't compare your life to anybody else because everybody experience things, and people don't have experiences of certain things, so it's like
Right. And people also, just to answer this question, do we have a number or email for a guest to contact? We have stuff provided here that we're going to get into now before we close out. But one thing I will say is if you would like to reach us, GW_anxiety_talks. The page is there. You reach out, we'll reach back.
Instagram, same thing.
We have Instagram, it's the same thing. GW_anxiety_talks. Or is it GW.anxiety.talks? Either way, they're the same thing. They're connected.
Yeah.
So
We'll put the link in the comments.
For the quote of the day for myself is depression and anxiety and panic attacks are not signs of weakness. They are signs of trying to remain strong for far too long. So again, depression and anxiety and panic attacks are not a sign of weakness. They're just a sign of trying to remain strong for far too long. With that being said, people, I want you to take in consideration this next thing that we're about to present to you. Call a suicide hotline number in the U.S. Call National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-8255. Use the same number and press 1 to reach the Veterans Crisis Line. Reach out to a close friend or a loved one. Contact a minister, spiritual leader, or someone else in your youth faith community.
I got a website for you.
Yes, we do.
Mental health's #1 online counseling website is mentalhelp.com. It's an online counseling website. The suicide hotline is 988. They will connect you to a trained counselor with existing lifeline.
Give it to them again, D. The suicide hotline is?
Suicide hotline is 988. They will connect you with a trained counselor with existing lifeline.
Okay, advertising of the day. Before we close out, shout out to Public Gift Hair. Link best.public.com. They have stuff that you can purchase from them, from raising awareness, mental health, breast cancer, autism, suicide prevention, save the bees, save the planet, eating disorders, addiction recovery, and the promo code in caps is mental25. You will get 25% off of all of your purchases. Also, www.pendify.com. So that's www.pendify.com. The code is GIFT20 for 20% off all future orders. There you can go and get murals and pictures and all sorts of just dope, amazing engraved pendants that they create for you. Yeah, so please look into www.pendify.com. Check them out. Before we go, it is 9/11. We paid homage, we paid tribute. Y'all got this depression work from us. I want to also give a shout out to my big bro, Centerhood. Happy birthday from the GW Anxiety Talks family to yours.
Happy birthday, brother.
So shout out Centerhood. This is a short episode brief. We stay tuned for part 2 on how to deal with suffering depression coming soon. But this is GW Anxiety Talks, from our family to yours.
Yeah.
Thank you. Keep growing with us.
I want to leave him with a slogan, a little slogan I got that could kind of help you with. It's kind of like a slogan that could help you with getting to understand your depression and anxiety. You know what I mean? But the slogan is AA, and AA stands for accountability before acceptance. I mean, you got to take accountability for what you're going through, what you've been doing wrong, before you can accept the good healing. You know what I mean? And that's just a part of just being mature and understanding right from wrong and trying to go down that right path. So, AA, accountability before acceptance.
Shout out to Centerhood in there. I want everybody right now, if you can, man, let's go blow up that DM. Shout him out. Happy birthday to him, man. Another wise OG. We got Maximilian, another wise OG, man. Shouts out to the whole Anxiety family. D, me, we try to do our best to give you guys a lovely show every time we do it, by giving you informative tips as well as relatable tips from our lives. So we want y'all to know, man, please go get help. It's cool. We're going to go get help. It's not cool if you know you're going through something and you're overlooking it. So please, today's topic was about depression. We'll keep giving you topics based around mental health. Let's stay safe. Let's stay blessed. Let's keep winning. And there you have it from our show, GW Anxiety to yours. One love. Stay blessed.
Peace.
Keep up with us. Peace.